Hi everyone, it's Gillian and welcome back to my channel, Hooked and Smitten, and another crochet tutorial. For today's tutorial, we're going to be working on this handbag. To make this handbag, the variegated yarn that I use is from, both of the yarns I use from Hobby Lobby. The variegated yarn is called Painted Canyon if you're interested in that color, and then just the traditional black. I also use a 3.25 millimeter hook just to create a much more dense fabric. This pattern is 100% customizable, so have fun and let's get started. To begin round one, we're going to start with a magic ring. Chain 2, 1, 2. That chain 2 is going to count as a double crochet, and that's going to be the same throughout the pattern. You're going to make 2 double crochets into the ring. 1 and 2. You're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and make 3 double crochets into the ring. 1, 2, and 3. You're going to repeat, chain 2, and make 3 double crochets into the ring. 1, 2, and 3. You're going to repeat one more time, chain 2, and make 3 double crochets into the ring. 1, 2, and 3. At the end of the round, you're going to make a half double crochet into the chain 2. And that is the end of round 1. For round 2, chain 2, and in the half double crochet space, make 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. Into the chain 2 space, skipping the double crochets in between, make 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 2 and make 3 more double crochets into the space. 1, 2, and 3. You're going to repeat this sequence in the remaining 2 chain 2 spaces, and I'll meet you at the end. At the end of the round, you're going to make 3 double crochets into the first space. 1, 2, and 3, and you're going to join with a half double crochet stitch into the chain 2. And that is the end of round 2. For round 3, chain 2, make 2 double crochets into the half double crochet stitch space. 1, 2, skipping the double crochet stitch and the space in between, make 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Into the chain 2 corner space, make 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and make 3 more double crochets into the same space. 1, 2 and 3. Into the next space, make 3 double crochets. 1, 2 and 3. You're going to repeat this sequence all the way around, and I'll meet you at the end. At the end of the round, you're going to make 3 double crochets into the first space. 1, 2 and 3, and you're going to join with a half double crochet stitch into the top of the chain 2. And that is the end of round 3. For round 4, you're going to repeat round 3, chain 2, make 2 double crochets into that first space, make a cluster of 3 double crochets into the next 2 spaces, and repeat into the next space. Into the chain 2 corner space, make 3 double crochets. 1, 2 and 3, chain 2, 1, 2, and make 3 more double crochets into the space. 1, 2 and 3. And you're going to repeat this sequence all the way around, and I'll meet you at the end. At the end of the round, you're going to make 3 double crochets into the first space, and join with a half double crochet stitch into the chain 2. And that is the end of round 4. For round 5, repeat round 3, chain 2, make 2 double crochets into the first space, you're going to make a cluster of 3 double crochets into the next 3 spaces. 1, 2 and 3, and repeat. And repeat one more time. 1, 2 and 3, and then you're going to work your chain 2 corner space, 3 double crochets, chain 2, and make 3 more double crochets into the same space. Two and 3. And you're going to repeat this sequence around, and I'll meet you at the end. Into the first chain, you're going to make 3 double crochets. 1, 2 and 3, and this is the last round, so I'm going to chain 2, and I'm going to cut my yarn here, and I'm going to join with an invisible join. And by making the chain 2 like you did, like here, it's hard to see the join. It's hard to see, like if you did a chain 3, you won't see this as much. So you're going to go under the first double crochet stitch and then into the back loop of the last chain, and then go over to the top of the chain 2. You're going to pull that through. Now for this pattern, you're going to keep on repeating round 3 until it's as big as you like it to be. I made a total of 11 rounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And I did my last round in the black color, and if you want to do something like that, you want to make sure that all three squares has the same color for the last round. So what you want to do, you want to make 3 of these. It doesn't matter how many rounds you want to do, that's totally up to you. So do that, and we'll meet back here to stitch these together. You should have all 3 of your squares completed, and we're going to fold these from one corner to the next. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to use locking stitch markers to hold it in place. So we're going to start from the middle here. And then I'm going to do the corner right here. And then the other side. And I'm not going to do the front part because I'm going to start working on this area right here. So I'm going to turn the work like this, and I'm going to be working from this end and this side down towards me. I'm going to be using the zigzag method to join, and you can join using any method that you want to. I'm going to start by making a slip stitch into the chain 2, and that's going to be with the square that's off to my right. And I'm going to join with a slip stitch into the chain 2 space. And for this method, you want to make sure that the working yarn is in between the work like this. And for the square that works as the bottom of the bag, I'm going to join into the chain 2 space with a slip stitch. I'm not going to join this way. I'm going to join from the top and make a slip stitch. I'm going to turn my work. I'm going to slip stitch into the next stitch, and that's going to be off to my left now. And I'm going to slip stitch into the opposite square and repeat. And this is going to be your stitch repeat all the way to the next chain 2 space. Continue working this way, and I'll meet you into the next chain 2 space. When you get to the chain 2 corner space, you're going to make a slip stitch into the chain 2, and you're going to slip stitch into the opposite chain 2. And I'm going to flip my work around. You're going to work these stitches here the same way that you did here. you're going to slip stitch into the double crochet, and then you're going to slip stitch into the opposite double crochet stitch, and you're just going to repeat. So you're going to continue working that way until you get to the center, and I will show you what to do here so you can finish stitching the bag together. So here we are at the center of the bag, and we have 3 corners to join. You're going to slip stitch in the one off to your left side and into the opposite one, make a slip stitch. And you're going to turn the bag upside down, and then you're going to make a slip stitch into the chain 2 here. So you're working from the top, not the bottom. Slip stitch. And then you're going to continue working this side. So you're going to slip stitch and then make a slip stitch into the double crochet on the opposite side. And you're just going to repeat. So you're now going to continue working this area all the way down to the next stitch marker where you have the next set of chain 2. And then I'm going to flip this over, and then you're going to come up this side, and that's going to bring you up to the center of the bag where we started. So continue, you're going to join the corner here the same way you did the first corner. So continue working that way, and I will meet you at the center of the bag where we started. At the end, you're going to slip stitch into the chain 2 and slip stitch into the next chain 2, and I also slip stitch into the beginning chain 2, and then I'm going to cut my yarn and fasten up here. And just flip it over and weave in your ends. And you're going to do the same with the other end, and next we are going to make the straps for the bag. To make the handbag strap, you can start in any of the sizes that you want to. I'm going to be joining in the double crochet stitch that's right next to the chain 2 space. I'm going to join with a standing double crochet, and you can also use a slip stitch and a chain 3. To make a standing double crochet, put a slip knot on your hook, and you're going to wrap your hook once, go in to the stitch and pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook, wrap your hook and pull through 2, and wrap your hook and pull through 2. Into the chain 2 space, you're going to make 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Into the next stitch, you're going to make a double crochet, and you're going to turn your work. You're not going to chain, you're going to turn your work, and you're going to make a chainless starting double crochet. You're going to insert your hook into the first stitch and make a single crochet. You have 2 loops here. You're going to insert your hook into the loop that's off to your left, like that. You have 2 loops on your hook. You're going to wrap your hook and pull through 1. You have 2 loops left, and you're going to wrap your hook and pull through both loops. That way you won't have a big gap in between the double crochet stitches. You're going to make a double crochet into the remaining 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you're going to repeat row 2. You're going to turn your work again, and you're going to make a single crochet in that first stitch. You're going to insert your hook into the loop, the 2 loops, into the loop that's off to your left hand side, like that. You're going to pull through only 1 loop, and then you're going to pull through both loops, and you're going to make a double crochet into the remaining 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're going to repeat row 2 for as many rows as you need, and you're going to make this as long as you want it to be. Maybe you want a crossbody or just over the shoulder. So continue, and we will meet back here, and I'll show you how to join it to the other side. I ended up with 28 rows of double crochet stitches, and that was enough for an over the shoulder handbag for me. So now we're going to attach it to the opposite side. So you want to make sure that it's the correct way, the loop is the correct way, and you're going to hold the loop up against the outside of the fabric like this. So this loop is going to be on your right hand side. You're going to insert your hook into that double crochet stitch right before the chain space, and then you're going to place this loop back onto your hook, and you're going to pull that through. You're going to chain 1, and you're going to make a single crochet into that same stitch, and then you're going to go over and make a single crochet there also. You're going to make 3 single crochets into the loop, and you're going to be going into each one of these stitches. One, I meant the chain 2 space, not the loop. So that's 1, and into the chain 2 space again, and into another double crochet. 2, into the chain 2 space again, and into another double crochet. And 3, and then you're going to make a single crochet into the last stitch. And you're going to chain 1, and you're going to fasten off here. So now you have your handbag strap completed, and you just need to fasten off your ends, sew in your ends. And next up, we're going to add a button, and we're going to add the loop. We're now going to make the loop closure. You can choose any side of the bag that you want to. I'm going to start by placing a slip knot on my hook, and I'm going to go in front of these stitches right here. So right here, and I'm going to make a slip stitch. I'm going to chain 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 19, and 20. And you're going to slip stitch back into that same space. Chain 1, and you're going to fasten off and weave in your ends. And now the only thing left for you to do is to add your button, and a button of your choice. So I choose to go with a handmade button, and I will have a tutorial and show you how very easy it is to make a button like this. And you're just going to close it, and that's it. That is the end of the tutorial. And because I use a white button, I want to show you that I weaved it in between the stitches so that you didn't see the white. I mean, I could have used black, but I thought the white looked like, gave it something, a bit of a pizzazz, I guess. So that's it. This is a very simple to make, just a regular granny stitch, and you have a bag. So thank you so much for stopping by my channel. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment, share it, and I will see you in the next video.